Live from the station that's on your side, this is 6 News at 5:30.
Right now at 5:30, a sudden reversal. Sony releasing The Interview. So what changed? And the White House has been host to a lot of Christmas celebrations. A look back at some of the traditions and those decorations coming up. Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. I'm Kayla Strayer. So this time last week, Sony had canceled its release of The Interview, leaving a lot of people wondering, did the hackers take away our freedom of speech? Even President Obama got involved, calling the cancellation a mistake. But today, the movie is streaming online, and tomorrow it will be in some theaters. Public relations expert Rick Laney is here tonight. So first of all, Merry Christmas Eve, Rick.
Same to you, Kayla.
So talk about this release. You're saying that you can go stream it online and even buy the movie right now.
You could be looking at the future of movies and movie distribution in what's happening with this movie today. It's not available in any theaters. You can't go see it at a theater until tomorrow, and yet for $5.99 you can go online and stream it on YouTube, Xbox, and Google Play. Always in the past, the ones who resisted the movie companies releasing those films online before they were in theaters were the theater companies, and of course the theater companies are the ones who decided they weren't going to show this movie.
So do you think this is paying off for Sony in a way, or could pay off?
I think the jury's still out on that. I mean, will Sony ultimately make as much money on this movie as they would have had it had the major release in theaters that they had anticipated? I don't know the answer to that, but I do think that because of the attention this movie has drawn, there will be millions of people who go online and download it and stream it online, or go to see it at the 300 theaters where it's going to start showing tomorrow.
Now, as a public relations expert, would you have handled this situation any differently, or do you think with the president getting involved that it kind of turned Sony one way or the other?
I'm sure that did play a role at Sony. I mean, Sony's initial response was that they were not going to release the film, and the president said it was a mistake, and in my opinion it was a mistake. I mean, we're a nation that does not like for dictators from other countries to determine what we can do from a freedom of expression standpoint and with the arts. But I think you've seen a number of firsts with this. I mean, you actually had a major U.S. corporation backing off on something it had planned to do, something that it had invested $45 million to create. And then they did an about-face and decided not to release it because of threats from another country. That was certainly a first. I don't know from a PR or marketing standpoint that there was any precedent. I think they were kind of in uncharted territory.
Right. Now, in the long run, do you think that this is going to affect more than Sony? I mean, do we have to worry about our emails getting hacked?
Well, I would venture to say that since the Sony emails were released after the hack and you had executives talking about some of the major movie stars, I think that there are probably a lot more telephone conversations taking place than there were a month ago. I think that everyone was reminded that anything you put out online is not necessarily private.
Right. And then is there a correct way to handle a situation like this after the damage is already done?
Well, I mean, always the rule of thumb is to be honest and address it head on as quickly as you can. Not to wait, not to ignore it, not to sidestep it, not to try to spin it. You want to come back and be completely honest and do that as quickly as you can, and that's always the best practice. Very interesting.
And then, of course, you said in some theaters it's going to be playing tomorrow, but you can even go stream it online right now.
Yeah, it started at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So this is a major motion picture that for the first time ever you can watch streaming on your laptop at home before it's released in the movie theaters.
Very interesting. Well, thank you so much, Rick. We appreciate it. And have a Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Kayla.
All right, thank you. All right, time now to take a look at today's other top stories.